The Age of Execration, from M37 to M39. The Black Gulf Mines, in 154 M37. The few survivors of the Zargosan smuggler fleet break under pressure from a Dark Angel's force led by Master Interrogator Chaplain Molochia. They relate a tale of how a cloaked stranger fought his way aboard their flagship, the Black Needle, claiming parley. He knew the smuggler's code and invoked the rites of combat, winning his duel and taking the place of a seasoned mate. Within a year, the stranger had risen to the very top, besting the previous captain in single combat. Under his leadership, the Zargosian fleet, 5 ships in all, concentrated their raids along the Black Gulf mines. There, amidst the sprawling asteroid fields and orbital man-made platforms, the smugglers raided mining complex after mining complex, hauling off many tanker ships filled with sought-after minerals and gases. As it turns out, the leader of the mining colony, known as the Black Gulf Tyrant, is a figure greatly sought after by the Dark Angels. The Battle for Khorne's Acropolis, in 551 M37. Situated dangerously close to the Eye of Terror, the world of Pasembi II suffered a ferocious assault by the High Anarchist Podchak, a vile Chaos Magister whose forces of chaos left that world's planetary defense force reeling. Within a week, Podchak's legions swept away all organized resistance, and what few Imperial forces remained were driven back to Khorne's Acropolis, the site of an ancient structure raised to the glory of the Emperor during the Great Crusade. Fortunately, their salvation came in the form of the Dark Angel's 3rd Company, and few battle honors evoke more hard-won pride than the lone ribbon that commemorates this campaign. The Astartes of the 3rd Company made a daring drop-pod assault at Pasembi II and created a thin cordon between the Acropolis and the approaching horde of demons and chaos cultists. Master Baradiel, standing shoulder to shoulder with his command squad, orchestrated a defense that stopped the Chaos forces dead. Once reinforced by the company's war machines, the Dark Angels advanced upon the enemy. Eventually, Baradiel came upon the anarchist and blew Podchak's head away from his body with his storm bolter. The arch-enemy's army fractured, and the demons fled back into the Imperium. As the mortal soldiers turned to flee the Astartes' wrath, the Dark Angels fell upon them. None escaped their righteous fury. The Battle of Midpoint, in 871 M37. An Eldari fleet threatens to destroy the massive space docks of Midpoint in the Argonne sector. The sudden appearance of the Rock and the Dark Angel's sword fleet tips the battle in the Imperium's favor. The Eldari retreat, but not before the firepower of the Rock annihilates their capital ship and a half-dozen vessels of their armada. To this day, the savaged hulls and floating corpses of both sides still hang in the depths of space, forming an eternal graveyard. The Betrayal at Zambique, in 883 M37. The Raven Wing follows a trail that leads all the way to the Imperial Governor of Zambique, a key Imperial planet sometimes called the Gateway to the Gothic sector. Before they can apprehend the Governor for questioning, however, the planet declares open rebellion against the Imperium and secedes from the Emperor's realm. The Dark Angel's task force is surrounded upon Zambique by heretic Astartes of the Alpha Legion, and only the timely counterstrike by half of the Death Wing prevents the annihilation of the entire 2nd Company. The Governor, a fallen angel who was once known as Brother Solus, escapes with the remnants of his traitor Marine allies. The Hunt for Solus, in 987 M37. After picking up the trail of the fallen angel Brother Solus, the entire Ravenwing deploys en masse on the plains of Psykers, an agri-world in the Aura sub-sector. All 10 of the Ravenwing's death shrouds join the hunt, bringing a shroud of arcane darkness to that world's sun-drenched surface that can be seen from orbit. Despite their sweeping efforts, Brother Solus evades his pursuers again, and the chapter records state that Cypher himself may have had a hand in Solus's uncanny escape. The Amalgamation Schism. In M38, the arrival of the Space Hulk Amalgamation triggers a series of events that sees the Crimson Sabres chapter estranged from the Imperium. A conflict with the Dark Angels over an interrogator chaplain's unorthodox excruciation of a prisoner is thought to be at the heart of the matter. The Great Crusade, from 299 M38 to 309 M38. The Dark Angels played a crucial part in the Great Crusade, a decade-long campaign that ended on the colony world of Altid 156. The Angels committed an assault upon the colony world of Altid 156 after it had rejected the rule of Terra solar decades before and declared independence from the Imperium. Although the Crusade's ruling council ordered a single regiment of Imperial Guard to assault the wayward colonists, the Dark Angels, acting on information they refused to disclose to the council, insisted on making the assault themselves. The Angels' Crusade force was composed of 3 Ravenwing squads, 5 Deathwing Terminator squads, and 5 tactical squads of the 5th Company, along with various support vehicles. Assaulting the Pilgrim colonists' headquarters, the Deathwing met the foe they had really come to fight. Not the separatist colonists, but their leader, Elucidax, the Keeper, a heretic known to have inspired dozens of rebellions across the quadrant. But Elucidax was known by the Dark Angels by another name, Zariah, the one-time captain of the Dark Angels Legion's 14th Assault Company. Though Zariah was a formidable opponent, killing a dozen Dark Angels, the Ravenwing captured him and transported him back to the Rock. Interrogator Chaplain Asmodai extracted a confession from the fallen Dark Angel, leading to the eventual capture of Zariah's entire band. Zariah refused to admit his sin in joining Luther in rebellion against the Dark Angel's Legion, and languishes alone in a cell to this day. Though their actions on Altid 156 had not been coordinated with the rest of the forces of the Imperium engaged in the Crusade so that they could capture the fallen angel, the Dark Angels claimed that Elucidax, the Keeper, had been slain at their hands. This ensured that despite the breach in protocol, no inquiries by other Imperial authorities would be made. The Blackest Time, from 666 to 686 M38. 3 Grand Masters of the Ravenwing are lost in a single year in 666 M38, each one slain while in pursuit of a group of fallen Dark Angels. This marks the beginning of an unprecedented 2-decade period where the Ravenwing has no Grand Master. During this time, the Ravenwing are given direct orders from the Grand Master of the 2nd Company of the Angels of Vengeance, as the Dark Angels wait until a suitable candidate can be found from within their own ranks. The 100-Planet Rebellion, in 518 M39. While attempting to follow Cyper's path, the Dark Angels uncover a mad priest named Aldrich the Subverter. The heretic visionary had led a swath of planets on the borders of the Veiled region to reject the rule of the Imperium. Within a solar decade, the Dark Angels and several of their successor chapters suppress the Chaos Cultist uprisings and slay their leaders. Such actions are doubly pleasing for Cypher, for not only is he revenged upon the Alpha Legion's machinations, but he further frustrates the Dark Angels. For their part in the campaign, the Angels are awarded many honor badges and campaign ribbons for their actions by the High Lords of Terra. The austere Angels infrequently bear such commendations, but feel pressure to do so in this case. Deep down, the inner circles seethe at the dishonor, for they know the truth, that the badges are but a sign of their failure to capture Cypher once again. The Relief of Rael's World in 814 M39. The penal facility on Rael's World is the target of a concentrated assault by a coalition of Alpha Legion warbands. Many among Segmentum High Command are unwilling to expand some of the overstretched resources in its relief. Then, with no warning or explanation, a Dark Angel's strike force intervenes. The enemy is routed and their leader captured by them. The deliverance of Rael's World seemingly a byproduct of the chapter's ongoing hunt for the fallen. The Forlex Rescue in M39. A Necron stasis crypt awakens beneath the Imperial colony of Forlex. Striking from orbit, the Guardians of the Covenant drive the Xenos back below ground and, though the cost in lives is steep, well over 100,000 colonists are safely evacuated. The Battle of Styx in M39. Tau forces attempt to annex the Dark Angel's recruiting world of Styx. The rock itself arrives in orbit to defend the planet, and the Dark Angel's response is so violent that the Xenos are wiped out in a single solar day. The Lost Hope of Perdition in 891 M39. An investigation by the Dark Angels of a space hulk designated the Lost Hope of Perdition, newly materialized out of the warp, discovers strong elements of the renegades known as the Cleaved to be aboard. The ensuing fight is won when Dark Angels assault squads, advancing behind a trio of Dreadnoughts, get close enough to set cyclonic charges in the Hulk's engine rooms, though at the cost of Supreme Grand Master Zakaron, who manually triggers the blast.